Hi, I'm Jared, and this week on Hood Slappers, I'm going to be reviewing the 2025 Toyota Camry. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Hello viewers, you join me as I sit comfortably in the driver's seat of Toyota's redesigned 2025 Camry, a vehicle with a long-standing history in North America, dating back to over 40 years. And this gives you a proper amount of time to make a name for yourself. And Toyota has done just that. Because when you think of the Camry, the first thing that you think of is...
Airport, please. On the double.
The Camry's more than just a taxi cab, taking you back and forth to your business lunch. As a matter of fact, the Camry might surprise you. Toyota holds over 600 NASCAR national wins, and most of those are done with the Camry. The Camry is the #1 selling sedan in North America and has sold over 21 million units in over 100 countries. If you have a negative opinion about the Camry, chances are you're in the minority. So what did Toyota do this year to their Crown sedan as the Camry enters its 9th generation? The most obvious part of the redesign is the Camry's exterior changes. Toyota has stated they're going for a more athletic exterior. With its added lines and tightly rounded corners, it certainly shows, especially when adding the odd Gatorade around the car. Ooh, very athletic. With combustion engines killing the caribou in the Arctic, and Toyota not fully committed to an EV future, they made the decision to make a standard hybrid engine for the 2025 Camry. And this means no more V6. And some people will be displeased with that, but when only 10% of your sales are V6 sales, I think Toyota made the right decision, especially when a lot of the Camry's direct competitors no longer offer a V6. And I'm okay with that. Another change is the Camry's front end. The Camry grins a smile from ear to ear with a front grille that would make any dentist proud, as it's not unlike a mouth chock full of veneers. Historically, the Camry has always been more for the mature drivers of the world, drivers who know how to play canasta or consider soup a full meal. But this year, Toyota wants to go after a younger demographic while still maintaining that older demographic. And this is a delicate balance. If you go too far one way, you'll lose those of the other way. So just who is the new Camry for? When the Camry first came to North America, Toyota wanted it to be an inexpensive entry-level car. But it became more than that, as its reliability made it an even more attractive car. It continues to this day as Toyota maintains a high level of quality on J.D. Power's list of brands with the least amount of problems per 100 cars. Now, just to be clear, the Camry is not the kind of car you would talk about at a party. It's a Camry, not a Camborghini. To put it into a basketball analogy, it's not like that flashy player with the killer instinct and that great footwork that you would trust with the final shot of the game. This is that reliable piece. This is the guy who always will be there giving 100% and you can always count on him. The reliable one. Who doesn't like reliability? It's really for everybody. The Camry has 4 different trim levels to choose from and has a starting price of just over $37,000. And those standard features you're going to get for that are push-button start, wireless charger with Apple CarPlay, heated seats, sport-tuned suspension, and even a heated steering wheel. Long are the days of Toyota's entry-level cars coming with manual locks and not having power windows. Now the question I've been dying to ask is, does the Camry still offer a cavernous trunk? Let's see. The Camry offers 428 liters of cargo space in the trunk. Now that's a little bit less than the Accord and a little bit less than the Altima, but still a good amount of space. Check this out. Hello, 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 hello. Subscribe to Hood Slappers. Subscribe to Straight Pipes. Subscribe to... Bad acoustics. So you will get a number of great features along with hybrid technology and performance at a reasonable price, but there is something else that you will get. Now, I did some proper, real research on the Camry, and I wanted to share it with you because the Camry will also offer you a great resale value down the road and a consumer demand. The average Canadian keeps their car for roughly 9 years. So within a 1,000-kilometer radius of where I currently am standing, there are 54 2015 Camrys for sale. I narrowed it down to trim, and there are 20 LE models. Statistically speaking, this market supply will last only 60 days. That's one Camry sold every 3 days. And if the average Canadian driver drives 20,000 kilometers on their 9-year-old car, this could probably retail around $15,000. That's a great value and a quick turnaround, because you need to think about the future. But enough about that. We have discussed changes, demographics, and features. Now it's time to go for a ride. To stick with Toyota's athletic theme, we have the sportier looking XSE model. Because nothing says sporty like a middle-aged man like myself going for a Sunday drive in a Toyota Camry. So let's talk about fuel economy, a few negatives about the car, and the famous 1 million mile Camry. Well, here I am on a beautiful autumn day driving the 2025 Toyota Camry as a middle-aged man, and it's you know what, it's exactly what I expected. The drive is solid, it's very firm, and everything's here. It's very Toyota familiar like, but it's all there. I was a bit disappointed when I first started driving the car. When I picked it up, there was a rattle noise, and I thought, oh man, this car is brand new, it already has a rattle. I looked everywhere. It turns out there was a water bottle lodged underneath the seat of the passenger, and it kept making a crinkle noise. So I was floored when I heard that, and I thought, this is the worst. And when I found the water bottle, it brought back my love for the car. So the 2025 Camry, we've never reviewed the Camry here on Hood Slappers, so I'm very happy we get to see this, because as you know, this, I think for 20 years, has been the #1 selling sedan in North America. So it's good that we get our hands on it. There's a lot of people that buy them, and hopefully you can watch this and maybe learn something from us. Toyota has their classic screen. It's been changed the last couple years, much better than it used to be, a lot more interactive than it used to be, with a nice big navigation system there. Look at that. And you can zoom all the way out, which is pretty wild. You can zoom all the way out. Here we are in Canada, and I can see if you ever want to, test someone's knowledge on Europe or Africa or Asia, or if you want to test someone's knowledge on all the 50 states. They're all right there for you. So you can't necessarily put a destination over there in the UK, but yeah, kind of cool. If you've seen any reviews on this car, there's a couple cons. People are obviously, if this is the crown jewel of Toyota's sedan division, people are going to knock it, because when you're on the top, people want to knock you down. So a couple things you may have heard is certainly that there's some cheap materials involved in the making of this car. When you touch it, I mean, there's some soft touch materials. There's this kind of cheapish, leatherish stuff, and then some things move around here, not firmly placed, but honestly, if you don't care, no one else is going to care. No one's going to appraise your car when you want to trade it in down the road and be, well, that's not top grade leather. That's more of a lower grade leather, so I can't give you as much for the value of the car. No, it's still a dashboard, it's still there. Who cares what the material is if you don't care? If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. So don't let that bother you at all. Now, as I said earlier, the Toyota Camry starts at just over $37,000. If you want to go to the top trim, which is one above this, the XLE, that's going to be just almost $48,000. Interesting for you to know, viewers, is if you are thinking of an Accord, the Accord starts at just over $40,000. That's without hybrid. If you want a hybrid Accord, you start at $42,000. So a bit of a contrast there. If you're looking for an entry-level, mid-size sedan that has hybrid, this sounds like the best option so far. And of course, we didn't mention earlier, the entry-level Camry has a hybrid, doesn't have all-wheel drive, but the next 3 trims have all-wheel drive. So I have all-wheel drive in this car. It's another thing that Honda Accord doesn't have. There's no all-wheel drive option there, and they had just started doing their hybrid models recently in the last refresh. So another point for Toyota. Now, there is a legend of a man named Greg who has a Camry, and he has achieved 1 million miles. We're in Canada. That's not 1 million kilometers. That's 1 million miles. And he states that it's because of the commute that he used to drive from Wisconsin to Mississippi. Now, I can see how far away that is on my map because I can see every state. But he would commute from Wisconsin to Mississippi in his Camry. And he reached 1 million miles. In 2003, he added 15,000 more. So 1,015,000 miles on his car. And that is a list of elite cars that have reached that mark. Other vehicles that have done it, Volkswagen Beetle. There's one with 1 million miles on it. A Honda Accord, of course, direct competitor, 1 million miles on it. Toyota Tundra. So it's not just one Toyota. There's another Toyota that's reached 1 million miles on it. And of course, we have the Hyundai Elantra. Not sure how that happened, but there is an Elantra that reached 1 million miles after probably 3 engine replacements. Then that's when it reached 1 million miles. But nevertheless, it got there. Now, we have lost the V6 in the Camry, which again, I don't care. It's almost oblivious. You can pump out a lot of power out of a 4-cylinder. The max horsepower on this car is 232 horsepower. I asked one of the guys at Toyota who lent me this car, I said, what's one of the biggest changes in this car? He said, the torque. It's more powerful than it looks on paper. I think it was 163 pounds of torque, but he says when you drive it, it seems like it's more. So I'm gonna give it the beans, and I'm just gonna see, are they crazy? Are they just being sales guys? Or does it actually feel torquey? So I wanna put it in sport mode just to give the benefit of all doubts, and I can already feel things tighten up. The car's reacting a bit better, and I'm just gonna give it the beans here. And there is quite a bit of torque there. I am going uphill a bit, so it's not gonna be the full beans, but quite a nice feel, especially for a Camry. But a 4-cylinder in there, a CVT transmission. Some people aren't gonna like that, but it's the way things are. Yeah, that's a nice feel. And you can hear the engine. So you lose the full electric, you get lost in the combustion part. Now, we've stated a few times how well the Camry is being sold. It's being sold very well here in North America, but there is one country where the Camry is not selling well. Last year, they sold only 6,000 units, and they are pulling the Camry from this country. Now, I do happen to have a map in front of me, viewers. I'm gonna show you where that country is. It's right here. The very country, I can't zoom in, the very country where this vehicle came from. Japan. Nobody wants the Camry in Japan. That's fine, give them to us. We'll take the Camrys, but 6,000. We sold 290,000 in North America. They sold 6,000. Obviously, they don't like the car, but that's okay, bring them here. And that leads me to another point, and I will say it, Camry, the very word defined means crown. Crown. Yet, Toyota has just released another vehicle called the Toyota Crown. You can't have two crowns. You can have one or the other. And that's how the Jacobite revolution started. They fought over crowns. So Toyota, I implore you to change one of the names. And you better not change the Camry, because it's put its time in. It's put 40 years into making it the crown of the sedan market. And then you have the audacity to come out with another vehicle and give it the exact same name, just in a different language. You can't do that. You've already got a crown. Remove the crown or change the name. You can call it a cloak or a throne, the Toyota throne, something like that, but just not the crown. You can keep it royal, but just lose the crown, because I'm driving in it right now. Unless you want that, Toyota. You want a civil war within the walls of Toyota. But I can see why, after 40 years, the Camry still exists. It's still here. It's not changing its names to keep it relevant. The name is strong enough. Just change the design every once in a while to keep it sharp, to keep it pretty, to keep it up to date. But the name Camry holds water. People are still attracted to the Camry. I think Toyota's done a wonderful job, especially with this particular trim level, of taking a car that, yeah, hey, it's a taxi cab or it's an old man car, but they've changed this trim specifically for a younger generation to make it more athletic looking, to give it that pizzazz and that wow, because they know that maybe they're not touching the entire market, that they can expand and make that car even better. And I think it's going to work with this new redesign. Well, it isn't flashy or mind-blowingly fast. It's never going to be talked about at a party, and it will never be a Barrett-Jackson piece. But you know who doesn't care about that? The Camry. Camry drivers are part of this elite secret society who know about the quality and reliability of this car. It has a great history, great features, and has great value. And it's continually changing and evolving as younger generations are growing up. Because not everybody cares about flash, but everybody cares about reliability. So with that, I give the all-new, fully redesigned 2025 Toyota Camry my hood slap of approval. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Where'd I put that Gatorade? A big thanks goes to our friends at Forbes Waterloo Toyota for letting us use this 2025 Toyota Camry. If you're in the market for one, go see them at 300 Weaver Street North in Waterloo, Ontario.